Because front-end web development is always changing, it's a really good idea to know where you can go to find out more and keep up to date with certain things. We've looked at the very basics of web development and web design on the front end, and this should be enough for you to go forward and discover new elements, new CSS properties, and really bring websites to life. However, there are certain things that you need to take into account when you are going along that way. The first one we've already looked at, caniuse.com. This is a really popular resource for checking support, browser support, and browser support in general, even if something hasn't been implemented in any browsers yet, to check whether or not you can use certain things. So for example, let's look at HTML5. We might come down here and say, well, can we use drag and drop? So for example, when you're on YouTube and you upload a video, you can actually drag and drop a file from your desktop or from a folder onto the web browser, and that will then start to upload the file for you. And this is a JavaScript API, but it's categorized under HTML5, and it gives you the different support here. So you can see that for iOS, Safari doesn't support it, Opera Mini doesn't support it, nor does Android browser or BlackBerry. But for Safari, Chrome, Opera, Firefox, and for IE, there's partial support. You can see that this just clearly gives you this information. We've also got things like known issues as well. So in Chrome, data transfer elements not implemented. This is more JavaScript though, so you'd probably not want to focus on this just yet. But in terms of CSS, so for example, we've already looked at font face. You can see this has very good implementation, including down to IE8 with partial support. So this is really, really good implementation, except for Opera Mini. And other things that we've looked at, so for example, filter effects. We can see that here we have pretty much vendor prefixes for every single browser. So we've got WebKit for Chrome and Safari. For Opera, we've got WebKit as well. WebKit for iOS, obviously, and for things like Firefox, it has partial support. IE, unfortunately, even up to version 11, it is not currently supported. And there's also this resources tab as well, which goes and gives you the specification on the W3C website, things like filter, playground, filter editor, just so you can play around with certain things, and these are really, really cool. So we move on to the W3C. We've already looked at the markup validation service, but if we head over to w3.org, this is where standards are published and people can discuss different proposals for web browsers, things like that. And this is a real good thing to get involved with, as well as looking at specific specs for certain things. So for example, W3 filters. Here we go. So we've got w3.org filter effects SVG1 second edition. Actually no, let's go to the filter effects module level 1. And there we go. So you can see the status of this. You can basically read all about it, and it gives you lots of different information and examples, as well as how browsers should implement this into their browser. And then you've got resources like Mozilla Developer Network, which is actually a really good community-driven resource for learning about CSS, HTML, JavaScript, etc. So you can actually read a lot here, and if there's anything you need clarification on, it's likely to be written in here. And you can go ahead and contribute by editing these pages if you want. And then we move over to more sort of article or specific information-driven websites like HTML5 Doctor, which is really useful. So for example, we've been looking at HTML5, but it would be silly to cover every single element in HTML5 because HTML5 also includes elements that have been in previous versions. So for example, HTML4. So for example, we've already looked at table, we've looked at T-head and T-body, we've looked at grouping with things like UL and OL as well, and obviously we've looked at sections like article, we've looked at header, we've looked at footer, we've looked at header 1 to header 6 as well. So there's various things, as well as the doc type, HTML head, title, links, meta, style, scripts. We've looked at all these things, but you can go ahead and say, well, I need to build out X and such a thing. So you can say, oh, well, I need to look at, say, the video element. Click on video and you can find more information here about the video element, and it gives you lots and lots of information about all other elements as well. So there's really good resources like this to go and just specifically look at certain things, and we've also covered forms as well. So there's lots of different things you can do here, and you can find out perhaps where is best to use a specific element. So, for example, if we look at a side, this is one of these elements that you think, this perhaps, where do I use this kind of thing? So this gives you a description of a side, and it just gives you a sort of prognosis of what it should be used for. So they are a few resources that you can go to. As I said, learning with web development is an ongoing thing. You'll always be learning new things and pushing things alongwards. So there we go. There are just a few resources that you might want to check out.